Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willies, your host. We are going to have a great show for you today. Happy Monday. Let's make sure and make this week the greatest week possible. Like one of my callers always say, you are going to have a great day, folks. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning, Texas. Good morning, the United States of America. Good morning, the world. Folks, you know what? I have three subjects to talk about, but I want to start out with one that's been on my mind, sort of a carry over from last week after I did a short. But beforehand, let's go to our geniuses in the control room. How are my brother Howard Reynolds and Jack Van Beber doing this morning?
Hey, Jack, have you seen any geniuses around here?
No.
Well, I didn't think there were any. Well, good morning, Egberto. Your morons are here.
Ha 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 ha.
Your button-pushing morons are here. So good morning to you, sir.
Buenos
And
dias. Do we
Jack,
have
what
a
you got
word
for
for the
us
day?
Yeah. Donate.
Donate for sure. The word is look for a reason to help, not to hate. And then you, the people, the listener contributor are what keeps free speech radio free. The 6% that pay so everyone else can play. Be a part of the team that pays. No governmental influence, no corporate agenda, nothing to sell except our own selfless self-promotion.
That's
Self-promotion.
that is.
I'm telling you.
Well, I promote myself all the time, so it's shameless self-promotion for me. And we have to make it legal here. I missed my legal ID at the top of the hour, so it's KPFT Houston. And Egberto, back to you.
Hey, folks, we're going to have a great show for you today. But before we get started, and folks, I want you to stick around because we're going to do some talking. I want you to do some calling also. But please do remember that we are in Fund Drive, but we're still giving you a wonderful show. Give us a call at 713-526-5738. Hit extension number 1 to give a contribution, extension number 2 to go ahead and come on air. But we are dependent on you, and I'm asking you to go ahead and, again, 713-526-5738, hit extension number 1 to support the program, and extension number 2 to be on air. Folks, we have this great T-shirt that was designed by Robin. It's the Politics Done Right T-shirt with the KPFT logo in the O of Politics Done Right. Why don't you go ahead and consider getting that for about, I think the price on that is, if I recall, actually it's $100 contribution. Of course, you can break that up into pieces, no problems whatsoever. You can also give any amount. Say, hey, I want to give $5 a month. I want to give Politics Done Right in the name of, or rather KPFT in the name of Politics Done Right. I want to give them $5 a month. I like a coffee. I'll take them out for a coffee every month or so. We would love that. So please give whatever you can. $100, $50, $30, $40, $200. By the way, $250, and we have Coffee with Egberto. You can find that on the webpage, or you can just go ahead, give $250, and Robin will know to hook us up so that we can go ahead and get some coffee. I mean, it's just a token of appreciation, folks. It's not, that's all it really is. What we really need is your support to keep us being able to give you what we're giving you right now. Before I tell you all what the program is about, it seems like we already have a caller. So let me bring Brother Gonzalo onto the screen. Gonzalo, how are you doing this morning? ¿Cómo estás, mi hermano favorito?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
I am doing great, sir. I'm doing great. Talk to me.
Okay. What's the item you left on the menu last week?
The item I left on the menu was rugged individualism. I did a short on rugged individualism last week. I mean, I did a story on rugged that mentioned rugged individualism, and then I did a short. A short is sort of a 1-minute video on YouTube, and some of the folks on the right, the attacks that I got I really wanted to kind of address that because rugged individualism, the first thing they tell me is, oh, you just want welfare. Oh, you just want to be on the dole, and all these kinds of things they're telling me, right? And I understand why they're telling me that. They see the video, they look at me and they make assumptions, right? And that's fine. Because it's like I said, it's not about me, but what I wanted to do is to show how rugged individualism is a lot of what creates a dissension in our society. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that later on. But anyway, Gonzalo, talk to me.
Okay, you hit the nail on the head because actually, I want to talk about an incident that happened to me. I go to shop to the 99-cent store.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to say, I got the items that are marked down 50%, especially fruits that go to waste otherwise.
Right.
I was enraged when I saw, and I talked to a lady who works there, and she said, no more 50% marked down. The management said that we need to trash that, and you no longer have access to those items. And I was enraged. I went to the website, but of course, my friend, 99, he told me in the store, belongs to corporate people, Walmart,
right,
or whoever knows who the owner is. So they just have a website to lure us with things to buy at their store, period. So whenever you go to customer service, nothing. Even the email I wrote, it just bounced back. I talked to the manager, an Afro-American lady, and that is in the hood, a zip code 77099.
Okay.
If you know what that code means, a lot of poverty, a lot of people in need, a lot of beggars, and they don't want the beggars to shop. I don't know for what reason. So they prefer them to go to the food bank and get things for free. But I'm not going to go there. I don't need it. I think I need to leave the chance those people who really need. I just want the merchandise that goes to waste, because that's my mindset. All right. So it's not that I'm cheap. It's just that I want to save the earth because I work with those materials that politicians do their bullshitting, because Biden has done the bullshitting, and you know that.
Oh, we got to watch your words. Watch your words. Those will have to be beeped out.
Okay. But still, my point is, it goes nowhere. So I'm trying to be like you, fighting for the social justice, but here it's one of the platforms that probably we can express ourselves. I'm wondering how many people are listening to us. I guess a few.
Well, you know what, Gonzalo, that story that you just told about the 99-cent store and reaching, etc., a lot of people just heard that, and you've just added to the expense. I need to go to David, so give me a quick closer.
Okay, so all in all, we are aiming at social justice. Thank you very much for your space, for the opportunity to the listeners and to the people who listen to you to express themselves, and keep on doing the good job. Okay.
Thank you very much. And look, thank you for calling, and thank you for having these words of wisdom. Muchísimas gracias, hermano mío. You have a great day.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to David. Come on in, David.
Hello, how you doing?
I am doing fine, sir. Talk to me.
Thank you for your service. It's just a quickie. It's a recommendation for a book. It's called Bootstrap.
Okay.
Alison Quart. It's a book about the myth about, people thinking that they can do anything by themselves.
Thank you.
When the reality is that we all need community to go wherever we want.
Look, brother, that's what I'm going to talk about. I appreciate you bringing that up. And give the name of the book again.
Bootstrap. You know how they say?
The bootstrap. Got it. Bootstrap. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Bootstrap. trapped with the
Okay.
D at the end.
Thank you, David. I mean, we'll look into it. Anything else before we run to start the program?
Keep doing the great work.
Thank you, brother. You have a great day. Folks, please give us a call, 713-526-5738. Hit extension number 1. Please, please, please support the show. There are many ways that you can support the show. And I tell you what, I better throw this to Howard if he's available to give us all the other options. Remember, I told you $100 for the T-shirt. You don't have to do it all at once. You can do it in sort of a monthly deal. You can just say, I want to give $10 a month. I want to give $5 a month. Go on to the website, kpft.org. Find a way to support this program. Ensure that we can keep this program in this slot on the air. 713-526-5738, extension number 2. I'm going to flight to Howard in a minute, but I want to thank Jimmy Doon from Friday. Jimmy Doon gave us a nice and healthy support. Likewise was Cesar Gonzalez. Cesar Gonzalez gave us some nice support as well as Josephine Salazar. Josephine Salazar gave us some good support, and Susan Reinhardt, and of course there was our brother who just called, Gonzalo. Howard.
Yes, sir. I am paying attention. What I'm looking at, these T-shirts, you were talking about the sizzling summer T-shirt in 2 colors. We've got khaki green or black and 100% cotton. These are good-looking shirts. This logo on the front was designed by our very own Jill Morgenstern, who used to do Bio Brew. She is also a graphic artist, too, and she's very good at it. You'll love this T-shirt, but you'll love the feeling that you'll get when you support your radio station. Also, something else we've got here, KPFT's Summer Sizzle membership drive is in partnership with the Head Start, the Fifth Ward Head Start Center. So for every $1,000 we collect during their Summer Sizzle drive, we buy a backpack filled with some school supplies and some underwear and some socks for these kids that are struggling. You know, these are kids who need the help. These are kids who need the supplies. So when we collect $1,000, every $1,000 that we get, we buy a backpack filled full of this stuff, and it's going to be a good feeling to go over there with 70 or 100 backpacks and give out to these kids the help. It's the Fifth Ward Head Start Center, and we're providing the supplies to them. So go ahead and give, because you're not just helping KPFT, you're helping the community also. So that's something to think about when you open up that wallet. 713-526-5738, extension 1, or kpft.org to make your donation, and do it today.
Absolutely, folks. 713-526-5738, extension 1 to give, extension 2 to be on air, like Gonzalo and David just were on air with us. I want to welcome Paul Fleming Sr. out of Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so kindly for being here, my brother. Great having you here. Anyway, the title of the show today, it's amazing that we're 12 minutes into the show, and I haven't given the show a title, even though what I'm going to do is send you to the newsletter for the videos, because I want to have a chat with you first. Maybe we'll get to the videos, but maybe not. Change the Hunter narrative now. The real American poverty, and Clarence Thomas sold out. Democrats must change the Hunter Biden narrative now. Poverty in America is deeper than you think, and the Clarence Thomas scandal is exploding. Look. I want to cover those 3 subjects, but let me tell you more what I want to cover. Last week, we were talking about issues, and I said rugged individualism is only for those who have, 1, made it, however they made it, those who are privileged, or those who were inherited their stuff, and I gave some other options, and when I did a short, I broke all of that down into 58 seconds, and I did the video for the shorts on YouTube. You know, that is one of the ways that we bring people into the subject that we're talking about. It's a way of bringing more people in to see the story. You kind of grab them by that and come in. But what surprised me the most is some of the messages that I got. Some of the messages is like, "Oh, shut up! You just want to live off of somebody," or shut up! You want to do. And by the way, the attacks came from all directions. But the attack that most hurt, I don't want to say hurt because I'm not hurt by the attacks, but most surprised me was a guy who said, and I wish I had pulled it up here, but he said something to the effect, go get a job. You should, anybody who wants to make it can just lift themselves up by their bootstrap. And then he admonished me. He said, as a black man, I am telling you, I am ashamed. You, as a black man, is coming out here and telling in effect, keeping our community in the dire straits that it is with what I said. And I started to think, for somebody, a BIPOC, a black person, Latino, whatever, in the way society is right now, to attack me as some, the stereotype he himself has on people who he says look like him, because he says he's speaking to me, black men to black men is in effect what he was saying, right? And I started to think, and I'm like, a cancer is real. Earlier in other subjects, you've heard me talk about the Munchausen syndrome, the Stockholm syndrome. I sat down and that one hit because I'm saying, let me see, am I coming across wrong or not? Because what he was saying in effect is, I made it. You go get yours and stop telling folks that they can't, which is so far from the thing. First of all, my commentary was not racial at all. The commentary that I give applies to absolutely everybody. Absolutely everybody, right? But secondly, he was under the impression that somehow what the black and other BIPOC communities are going through are self-inflicted. And it's easy to jump to that conclusion, lift yourself, like the brother David who just called and talked about lifting oneself up by the bootstraps. It's easy for us to buy into the narrative that all these problems are self-made. And it was easy for me earlier in life, working hard, and I gave you guys a story about working hard, other people working hard, and seeing a beggar on the streets. But I'm going to go to Donald and finish the conversation. But I want you to hang with me because there's more that I want to say that is deeper than just a narrative I just put out there. But come on in, Donald, and then we'll continue.
Good morning, Alberto. How are you?
Good morning, Donald. Talk to me.
Citizenship in a republic.
Yes.
The man in the arena. 90.1 is the men and women in the arena. Take it to heart. I was going to sit there and go, this is me playing the little fiddle that my heart bleeds for you, but you're doing good. Don't let them rattle you, and don't take it too much to heart. It's just haters are going to hate. And the other thing, these Americans are great. I love them calling in. The United Mexican States, that's our brothers down south. That's our neighbor. We don't act that way. We have people doing whatever they're doing, and it's going to correct itself. But if you read Steinbeck's, The Grapes of Wrath, they burn fruit and everything else just to keep anyone else from having it while people starve. These things are not even 100 years old, or just a little over 100 years old. And there was a little guy that wrote a book about his struggles that changed the world, and we don't need to go back that way. And a cancel culture today, you may be in control of it, but when you start canceling everybody else out, how are you going to be to know you're not the one being canceled? That's all I got to say. But good work.
Thank you, Brother Donald. As usual, words of wisdom. Okay, continue. Thank you very much for your call, Donald. Continuing with the subject at hand. So anyway, all of this, attacks from the right, attacks from what I probably, this was probably a black dude on the right as well, who lift himself up by the straps, etc., etc., etc. And this is what I wanted to say, right? Rugged individualism is a farce. I need every single one of you who are listening to me right now, whether you're in your car driving to work, whether you're taking care of a kid, whatever it is that you are doing right now, I can tell you with a straight faced and honest, what I've learned, what I've taught myself is that all of us form a society and we all need each other, right? I used to believe in this rugged individualism thing. I formed several. What this guy didn't know about me was I wasn't speaking for myself. I formed several companies. I've worked for all the big shots here. I've done all these kinds of things, right? And this is not about self. This is really honestly not about self. But immediately he thinks because I'm talking about the aggregate, the folks in general, that somehow he reflects it on me based on the stereotype in America and other places that made about people who look like me or people who are otherwise, some my white brothers and sisters in Appalachia who nobody gives a hoot about, right? My Latino brothers and the whole issue about individualism is that is what it creates, right? It creates the false belief that somehow if you do things right, it is an absolute or near certainty that things are going to work out for you financially and otherwise. And if you don't follow those rules somehow, it won't. But worse, it goes under the impression that we all have equal access to success, right? And the whole issue that I'm trying to put across with that rugged individualism doesn't exist is based as well on a chapter that I wrote in one of my books called We Never Ever Lived in a Meritocracy. In other words, we never lived in a society that says if you work hard enough or you work hard as you can on a particular craft, that you are going to somehow succeed on that craft. It has never been true. We have the semblance of truth. I'll give you the church example. You know, Beyonce is probably a billionaire by now with the music that she makes. And Beyonce can sing, Beyonce can dance, Beyonce can do all these wonderful things that entertain people. But, you know, my wife goes to a church that have a great choir, a great band, and there are orders of magnitude of women in her church that sings just as well as Beyonce. Some better than Beyonce, some worse, a lot of them much better tonality, better hold their notes better. For anybody who knows music, they know that in as much as Aretha was a great singer, Aretha never held on a particular note. In as much as Beyonce is a great singer, as a popular singer, if you were to put a meter on her voice, she doesn't have the perfect holding of the tones, etc. So that is not what makes it that she is a star. Somebody decided of all these people who can sing as good, a little bit less good, a little bit more good than Beyonce, Beyonce is the one that we picked. Same thing goes with lawyers. Every year, thousands of people come out of law school, and a large percentage of them are on the streets. When I say on the streets, are doing menial work as lawyers. And I can talk about engineers, a lot of engineers that I knew. I worked for NASA, PR. I worked for a lot of companies in the 5 years before I formed my own company, right? And I used to have a chip on my shoulder thinking, I'm so good at what I do. BS. There was a bunch of other people that could do it. There was some reason I was chosen, and it wasn't some special reason. You know, there's a good possibility, and I gave you guys a story that in one particular company, Even though I was qualified, I know that affirmative action had a reason that I was chosen for that job. What I'm trying to get across, folks, is this rugged individualism that tells us that if you are an individual, you can attain whatever is crap. Okay? You have to be chosen the way our system works. It's not about handouts. It's not about that. And when you look at a particular group of people or a class of people that somehow seem to be over underprivileged, and you see the people that society wants to criminalize, or says, you see how those people behave. I don't look at how things are. I look at how things got there, because that is how you solve the problem. I want to continue with this, but let's go ahead and go to Steve, and then we'll move on. Come on, Steve.
Hey, good morning, Egberto. Good morning, brothers and sisters.
Good morning, my brother.
Just wanted to speak a tiny bit about politics. I guess over the last decade, how they've been trying to split us up and pair us against each other, so we don't realize, what's going on and all the resources that are going away from us that we could use for our brothers and sisters. And then I also wanted to mention my support for Lena Hidalgo, our county judge.
County judge.
Depression, and she sent out an email a couple days ago, and I guess she's going through a lot of pressure and a lot of depression, and she's trying to correct that. So I know myself, I know plenty of family members. We were taught to hide mental depression for the longest time, and now the ones who survived were a little bit better off. So just want to support her a little bit.
Yes. You're look, I hold my support for her. I'm happy that she went ahead and took care of the issues with her depression. Very, very important. There are so many of us and society has put so much pressure on us. This rugged individualism that I'm talking about, Steve, is one of the things. When you have those people that are, that think they have made it and think they're rugged individuals now, not realizing that I'm going to give a little story in a little bit, not realizing what is about to happen. But anyhow, anything else, Steve?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I guess I could announce that I was a former Republican. I used to like the supply side economics that Reagan supported, and I used to like Donald Trump when he had his book out a couple decades ago. Now I have a little bit more knowledge.
There you go. That's all it takes, brother. But look, thank you, Steve, for calling in. We can't have this show without great folks like you being part of the family. All right? Thank you, brother. All right. Anyhow, folks, so going back to this rugged individualism, so itemizing. Remember things. We do not live in a meritocracy, even though folks would want you to believe that if you are good at welcome aboard Melanie Keelan from Barcelona, Spain. Welcome aboard Eric Hayes from Houston, Texas. Welcome aboard Paul Fleming from Atlanta. If you think you did it alone, dream on. Like I said, earlier in life, right out of college, and getting all these great jobs, you sit down and it's easy to get a chip on your shoulder. But if you decide to be honest with yourself and figure out that, no, first of all, we better be our brothers and sisters' keeper. That's number one. Number one, we better start being that way, because the corporate folks are not going to take care of you whenever things go partially south for them. You're the first to go, the first to feel the pain. This inflation that they created right now, not we created it, they created it from their mismanagement and their corporate greed. Two things, mismanagement and corporate greed. But notice they're not paying for it. You're paying for it in the interest rates. You're paying for it in inflation rate, and you're paying for it in many other ways. So we better learn to be our brothers' keepers. This rugged individualism that we talk about, folks, though, like I said, what really hit the nerve is somebody believing that they can make it on their own, or that because they're meritorious, that they deserve what they have. I've learned to humble is it humble myself or humble myself? I think it's humble. I've learned to humble myself into realizing how much we need each other. Now, understand that our economic system cannot function if we don't have this false belief of rugged individualism, because rugged individualism means that you don't come together. And if you don't come together, you cannot negotiate and beat a system that is not giving you all your due. That is the reason why inflation rate can be high. We could force inflation rate down by telling these companies, you can't do it. And I'm not kidding about that. People think, well, we don't have that power. Yeah, we do. The pandemic showed how much power we had when they had to pay us to take their oil. We have the power to do that. Before I forget, folks, I have several videos that I wanted to show today, several topics. Again, the Clarence Thomas topic, the Hunter Biden topic. I'm not going to get to all of them. So please always remember that the show is planned every night before the show. And we, of course, don't necessarily go over all the issues that we have there. But you can always go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter and watch the videos on your own computer, etc. politicsdoneright.com/newsletter to go ahead and watch these issues. Now, I need to do please stick with me. I'm coming back to more subjects, but I need to do a little bit of pitching because I don't have not one contribution for this program yet. Do you like this program? Do you want us to stay on air? And I'm not kidding about that. You know, if a program is not bringing in the money for the slot, and remember, this program has 5 slots a week, 5-hour shows every week. And if we're not having the sponsorship for the program, there's no reason for the program really, because again, it's voted for with how much support it can do so that the lights can stay on, so that we can pay our bills that cost, so that what Howard and Jack are in the studio with all that machinery, etc. It has to be paid for. The electricity, the air conditioning, all of that has to be paid for. So give me a couple of minutes here to pitch and ask you guys kindly to give us a call at 713-526-5738. Hit extension 1 to support, extension 2 to come on air. I do things a little bit different in that I don't want to be pitching 24 continuously, folks. I want to give you a program. I want us to have knowledge. I want you to call in. I want all these things to occur because we can't make it if we're not getting the contribution. So let me throw it to my brother from another mother in the studio, El Senor Howard.
Well, thank you, Egberto. Yes, it is very important to support this program. Jack and I are back here sweating. We are getting phone calls. We are keeping the tin cans and string held together just so we can bring this show to you. This show to you is very, very important because Egberto tells it like it is. You may not like to hear him telling it like it is, but do support it, because it gives you a view of the world you may not ordinarily see. This radio station is very unique in the fact that local artists can come in and play on it. We play local artist songs. We give you concert tickets. We give you just a lot of entertainment that you wouldn't ordinarily get. Of course, we don't have commercials. We don't, and we're not influenced by the corporate structure. We don't have a national overview board that says, okay, you've got to play this, you've got to carry this show. No, we don't have that, which is good for us, which is good for you. So when you make that donation to KPFT at 713-526-5738 and you support Egberto's show, you are supporting the truth. And that's a fact. Jack, what you got?
Well, contributing to KPFT brings you these programs. Egberto gives you the news cycle and what's going on in the news. I try to bring a little more of a humanistic or, spiritual kind of sense to what I share. And, I get up every morning and drive in here 40 minutes, to get here every day to serve the people. And what we want to see is the appreciation for our service and, the help to keep this message, this free speech message, this message unfettered by government and politics, and we try to explain what's going on out there with this program and deliver it to the people in a form that they can, that they can interact with through the talk.
Yeah.
So 713-526-5738. Come on. We need bucks. We need dineros. We need it all.
Bread.
Large or small, bread, green, jack, whatever you want to call it. Reach in your pocket, go to the phone and call 713-526-5738. Hit option 1 to donate.
Thank you, brothers. Let me just say this. One of the reasons I do this, and I should say why we do this, because this is not an I, this is a we, is a commitment. Look, Howard and Van Weber in the studios could be anywhere, and Howard is a techie who knows radio like no other, and he is here at a community radio station because this is his passion and this is what he loves. The folks that you see at KPFT doing this kind of work, we really believe in community, and we really know that we are sort of the last stop in a completely commercialized world who wants you to be that rugged individual who wants to make you believe that we're in a meritocracy, so that we simply see you as a widget, as a source of production. I'm gonna tell you a little story. I write several blogs every day, do the 2 radio programs every day, and to keep all of and do several videos, anywhere from 3 to 10 videos a day, and it's a lot of work. It's 16 hours a day, but I mean it I love it. That I better say that for me it's not work. For me it's doing something positive, and I love doing it. The only persons that really suffer is my wife when she slaps me around sometime and say, "Hey, we need some time," or etc. But the reason I'm bringing that up is AI. Everybody's scared of AI now, right? Over the last several weeks, I've been getting all kind of messages on my LinkedIn profile to try this and try that. And I finally found some tools that helped me convert my blog, my podcast, that helps convert it into words and fix it up nice, and that I can edit and so forth. That increases my productivity by over 50%. And anybody looking at that would look at the first thing they think about is, saves me money. I can do X, Y, Z. The first thing I thought about is, wow, this is great. For my sanity, I am going to use these AI tools to help my productivity. But then immediately my thought went back, because I have friends that are editors, I have friends that are writers, friends that are doing all these things, right? And I said, wow, all those guys now, we're going to need 50% less of them. So I am living the AI thing. It's benefiting what I'm doing, because as a person who writes I write all my books, I write all the stuff myself. It's great for me, right? As one person, because it means I don't have to go out and farm out a lot of other things. I can do it. But then our economic system depends on things being farmed out for others to do, unless we find other things for others to do. Or unless we change the compact that we have between we the people and our economic system. So these are thoughts and things that I'm thinking about ahead of time, as far as how are we going to navigate these spaces going forward? How is it that when the call center, when AI is intelligent enough that, I mean, it's almost there already, that the call centers that have 1,000 people only need 100. How are we going to do it? How do we start telling people not to fear, but start electing the people who sees the future? Those are the kinds of things we're going to cover, and we are covering here. AI, don't be scared of it. Make sure to elect the right people into government that's going to say, guess what, folks? We no longer need a 40-hour week. We now need a 20-hour week without a drop in pay, because machines are doing the work now. But if you listen to the plutocrats right now, The plutocrats are going. Well, the plutocrats being the executives, the businessmen. I got a message from I don't remember. I think one of our listeners that said, like, Berto, use don't necessarily. Not everybody knows that. Use that word frequently. Use this word instead. I'm like, yes, sir. I think if somebody tells me I need to use another word to make sure that folks understand, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Anyway, so he said, use this other word. I said, okay. So I meant executives and corporations. Okay. They are currently, with all this AI technology and stuff that's coming out, they are thinking, wow, I can use 100 less people in my company right now. That means all the money that I would have normally given to those 100 people, 20% of it goes to AI, and the other 80% goes to me, the executive, the shareholder. It is time for us to start knowing about this stuff now so that we can say, that AI money isn't yours. That AI savings isn't yours. That AI savings mean I make, instead of having going from 1,000 people to 100, I may go to 500 people and have them work 20-hour weeks. And we will start really talking about basic income, which means everybody is entitled to a basic income. Oh, you're giving away money for free for people not working? No, not really. Actually, the executives, most of them don't really work. They tell other people what to do, but they don't work. How comes you don't feel that pain, or that? Why don't you feel that they're louses? Why don't you feel that they're not earning their keep? You see, we've learned with this rugged individualism to think so lowly of ourselves, right? So when it comes to all this AI technology that is going to be coming in, we don't need to be fearful. We need to start thinking, how are we the people with our learning these things that we're going to learn on Politics Done Right and other programs, progressive forums and other places that really cares about people? How are we going to force politicians to change the way things are so that with all these technologies that are coming on board, things start to work as they should? And it starts by engaging everybody. And there's one piece I'm going to play here, because now that I'm hitting sort of a poverty thing, I want you guys to listen to this piece that I heard on poverty. Oh, no, I can't play it. We're at 42. I can't play it. But anyway, we have to engage everybody. We have to engage the rural folks. We got to engage the folks that are going to feel the most pain from what's going on. Rugged individualism? No, sir. 713-526-5738. Una vez más, 713-526-5738. Hit extension number 1 to contribute. And folks, we are at minute 43. And I'm sad to say, we don't have not one contributor to Politics Done Right. A big donut hole, even as I've attempted to give a program and not just pitch 24/7 or for the whole hour, not one contribution. Do you like the program? Is the lack of support maybe something that you'd like change? 713-526-5738. You know, I'm not going to fool you. If you're contributing, I'm going to say, hey, like Friday, we did well. Today, we have a big 0. And I mean 0. We are at minute 43, and Egberto, Politics Done Right, KPFT at 0. So I'm going to ask any of you who have the wherewithal right now to please give a call right now. 713-526-5738. This isn't going into my pocket. This is going into KPFT's coffers to keep the 100,000 watt antenna flowing with the signal, to make sure the air works so that all the equipment in the studio works. I ask you so kindly, 713-526-5738. I don't want to be pitching and asking 24/7. I want to give good content. 713 526-5738, extension number 1 to talk. To contribute. Extension number 2 if you want to be on air. You can also go to kpft.org. kpft.org. Why don't you be a walking billboard for politics done right? Get a t-shirt. 713-526-5738. There's a Politics Done Right t-shirt. It's a $100 contribution. You don't have to give it all at once. You can just go ahead and sign up, and we'll give you your t-shirt. 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to contribute. Or go to kpft.org, kpft.org to contribute. Look, we do need new members. Why? Well, some people move away. Some perhaps can't renew their support at this time, and we need to replace them. So please, if you've never donated before, please do now. And please remember to say that the donation is coming in the name of Politics Done Right. You know, lots of people move in the Houston area and may not know that we rely on members for the support of KPFT. We don't get government assistance. We just do this out of love. Out of love. Out of love. I don't get a penny of pay from KPFT. Not one penny. 713-526-5738. Extension number 1 to contribute. Please allow me to call your name out before I get off air. You still have time to do it right now. 713-526-5738. Extension number 1 to contribute. Extension number 2 to speak on air. But I'd love you to hit extension number 1, contribute, and then call back, hit number 2, and come on air with me. Some have been listening for a long time and have never gotten around to joining. So join today. You can join for as little as, I think it's $40. Actually, I think you can join for as little as $25. But we need more if you can. If you can. We just want people to contribute what they can. I know a lot of people are asking for money. I want to give Augustine Gauna. Thank you, Augie, for that wonderful contribution. We simply could not do it without you. We cannot do it without you. So 713-526-5738. We have one contribution right now. One contribution. Could we get 5 in the next 5 minutes? Call right now. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Or just go ahead and go to kpft.org right now, and hit extension number, or rather, and hit the donate button. You know, I'm all wacky trying to say, guys, contribute now. We need your contribution now. We need your contribution, which we really, really do. And if it weren't for Og right now, we would still be at 0. But we need more. We need more. 713-526. 5738, 713-526-5738. Hit the number 1. And don't forget, go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter for all the videos that we were going to show. There's a good one on poverty. There's a good one on Clarence Thomas. And there's a good one on what we spoke about, the Hunter Biden stuff that I don't like talking about. But Augie, come on in. And thank you so kindly for calling in, donating, and then giving us a voice call. Thank you, my brother.
All I got to say is no man is an island, like somebody once said.
Yes.
We all depend on one another. And if you're not happy with what you got, you're not going to be happy with what you're striving for.
Right.
I had a chance to be management in a phone company when I used to work for it. But if I did, then I knew the company owned me and my time. I wouldn't be able to spend time with my family. So I chose to spend time with my family instead of being in management. And I'm glad I did because I was happy that way. And Zuckerberg and all those, and Musk and all those people that are making it, they didn't make it on their own. They made it because of the connections, their family. It wasn't them. And they hired these engineers, these workers to make them their money. And that's what these corporations are doing it. They're making it off the workers' back and off the customers' back. It's not of what they're doing.
We all need each other, Augie. We all, and if we would preach that more often, right? This rugged individualism is a dangerous concept. It gives you the impression that you can do it alone. And, if you sit down and figure out how many people help you every single day from the day you walk outside your door, the garbage man, the person repairing the streets, everything that you're dependent on others for. But rugged individualism, it doesn't exist. Saying I pick myself up, I form my own I form several companies, right? And there are times, chip on the shoulder. Hey, I own my own company. I don't own diddly squat. The truth of the matter is, I got to buy the paper here. I got to do this here. I need this kind of service there. We are all in this thing together. Some people have other avenues to do it. We're all in it together. And if we could think that even the people that are thinking they're no use to society right now, they'll even not lift themselves up by the bootstrap, but join into the frame, the fabric. Go ahead, Augie.
Yeah, and I grew up in the 50s and the 60s in the educational system then, and the economy was great because the one percenters, the billionaires, were paying their fair share of taxes. FDR made them pay taxes. And that's why the 50s and 60s were great. But every Republican president from Eisenhower on kept dropping the tax rate for the rich folks. And all of a sudden, and that's why things have gotten worse. The rich folks weren't paying their fair share of taxes. And the education system, we were like you about the rugged individualism. And that's what I was taught. But I was also taught about our government that somebody in my generation, the Boomer generation, said something. We're the last generation to believe that our government wouldn't lie to us, and that's the way we were taught in the 50s and 60s.
Right.
And then we went off to Vietnam, and a bunch of my classmates died over there for that war. And if JFK hadn't been killed, we probably wouldn't have been in that war.
Right.
And that might have been one of the reasons why he was killed.
Let me hold on a second, Augie. Let me do a quick pitch here. Folks, please give us a call like Augie did, 713-526-5738. Hit the number 1 to contribute. Augie, so far, is the only donor we have of the day. If politics done right is to stay in the slot, to stay on, we have to prove that, that we can support the slot that we're in. So I ask you so kindly, please give us a call at 713-526-5738. Support the program. Let me just say, give me a second here. But I mean, if we decide, think about this. We give a cable company a lot of money every month to lie to us. They tell us the truth. We like some of the programs, but there's a lot of lies that come on that. We pay them every month, and we diligently pay. We're forced to pay if we want to get those tubes in our house. You can get us here at KPFT on the internet. You can get us on air, our 100,000 watt transmitter. You can get us on Facebook, everywhere, right? And we don't charge, right? We just say, folks, we depend on whatever you have to offer, whatever you can give. It's a different model. We don't have to have advertising because we got you, right? And we don't have to distract you because we got you. We don't have to lie to you because we got you. But to keep this model, we do have to have you. And when we say have you, not only your heirs, but for those of you who have the wherewithal, who can afford to give us a call, 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to donate, or go to kpft.org to donate. $100 for a t-shirt, either the Politics and Right t-shirt or the Sumner Sizzler t-shirt or whatever you want. You can also give $250, have coffee with me. And again, like I said, that's just a token appreciation. $250, coffee with me. Coffee with Egberto, I think it's on the website. It's on the kpft.org site now. Or you can go ahead and just get, $40, become a voting member of the team. Decide what we're going to do here at KPFT, but we can't do this without you. And we want to keep being able to tell you things as it is. 713-526-5738. Hey, we're running on time, so give me a closer, Augie.
Okay, well, I'll try to be there tomorrow and with you if I can. And
Thank
maybe
you.
ought
It'll
to
be great seeing you tomorrow at the Black Hole. We are going to be doing Politics Done Right, and you talk at the Black Hole tomorrow. Go ahead, Augie.
Okay, well, keep doing what you're doing, Egberto. Great show.
Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so kindly, Augie, for your always support. 713-526-5738. 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to donate. Folks, if you have the wherewithal, if you can, remember, many times you go out and buy several coffees a day at Starbucks or a coffee shop or whatever. Consider giving Politics Done Right a coffee or two a month. Just think about it. You and a 1,000 other people doing that, we can reduce the amount of fund drives that we have and keep this thing flowing. It's all up to you if you want it. 713-526-5738. We need new members. We need new callers. Folks that are listening who love the program and says, let me just go ahead and, I gave XYZ somewhere else. I can give today. 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org. Can't do it without you. Cannot do it without we cannot do it without you. We have to have you if we're to stay on air. And you hear this every time we have a fun drive. Unfortunately, it's true. Well, I like to say, fortunately, it is true. We need you. And like I talk about rugged individualism, KPFT can't stand on its own. Politics Done Right cannot stand on its own. We all need each other. Rugged individualism. All the videos for our show today you can find at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. I prepared an entire show, but that's rugged individualism and other things I really want to talk to you about and also hear your commentary. Anyway, let me throw it to Brother Howard and Jack for some closers before we get out of here.
Just remember, folks, for every $1,000 we collect, we're going to donate a backpack to the Head Start Center over in the 5th Ward. So keep that in mind when you dial 713-526-5738 and make your donation, or you go to kpft.org to do the same. And speaking of rugged individualism, here's a man who's pretty rugged himself, Mr. Jack.
Yeah, I look pretty rugged sometime. A great face for radio.
I know.
Okay, here's my little saying about rugged individualism. It's good to be an individual. Just don't stand out. Remember, you're unique, just like everybody else.
Anyway, folks, I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank Augie. I want to thank James. Thank you, James Owens, for your kind support. We cannot do this without you. I do appreciate that. Let's see what else we have here. 713-526-5738, extension 1. Thank you, Howard. Thank you, Jack. My name is Egberto Willis. You can still go ahead and give, and just remember to put Politics Done Right as the program you're contributing to. 713-526-5738. Remember to put Politics Done Right as a program you're supporting. My name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics Done Right, and you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out! We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.